Yeah. Good evening and welcome to the first of two meetings tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. And at this time, we will convene our Board of Sanitation meeting for Monday, November the 20th, 2017. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, November 6, 2017. Floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. This evening, Board, you have 4 pages of wastewater claims in the amount of $87,292.97. Floor is open for any questions or comments.
I have none, thank you.
I have none either.
If there's no questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion to approve the wastewater claims dated November the 20th, 2017, in the amount of $87,292.97.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business from the previous meeting, and we have no new business this evening. Comments from board members?
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No comments. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:02 PM. We will convene the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting in 5. Good evening and welcome to the second and final meeting this evening. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. At this time, we will convene our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Monday, November the 20th, 2017. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, November the 6th, 2017. Floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have a comment, if I may, please. Dan, I really appreciate you and your staff and all the minutes that you have to put together for these 2 meetings as well as the city council. And when I go through, this is as of recently, like the last couple months, there really isn't any detail on each agenda item. It just says, I approved it and Dan seconded it. And I'm just, is there any way we could just have a little bit more content? Maybe not detail word for word, just maybe, if I can just give you a couple examples, if I may. Chief Schwartz gave an update on that brewery. Or what was that update? The owner was working on a permit, something very simple. Brad asked for the garage doors, and if we could say, and I had to pull all my paperwork from last meeting. He had 2 bids. One, the first bid, or the quote that he was going to go with, is $19,000. The second bid was $28,000, and where the funds came from. Maybe just a little bit more, that I don't have to pull all my paperwork out and go through it, if that would be possible. And again,
Yes.
I really appreciate what they do, because I know it's not easy.
Well, this has been a source of some issues over the years.
Yeah.
They were too long, they were too short. Then, it's just trying to meet a happy medium.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll try to
Okay.
add a
Thank
little
you.
bit more
Just
to it.
Decisions or something like that, more than just a simple approve. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Dave, any questions, comments, or corrections?
No, sir. I'm good.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. This evening, Board, we have 26 pages of corporate claims in the amount of $709,671.56. Floor is open for any questions or comments.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
I got one thing I want to point out. It's on page 7. The very first item, the Aerial Tool Rental Corporation. The Parks Department bought another Dixie chopper, grass cutting machine. It's a brand-new machine, and that puts them up to 4 Dixie choppers and 1 other machine. But the point I want to make is their equipment is really, really good. And I just want to thank Tom and the clerk's office and anybody who's involved in paying this, and Tom getting the equipment and the guys who use it. I mean, they have top-notch equipment down there, and it's good stuff. So I just wanted to point that out.
And you have to buy good stuff. I mean, they use it non-stop. It's not like our mower at home. We use it once a week. They're using this stuff all the time.
So,
Agree.
any other questions or comments?
I have none.
Good.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the corporate claims dated November the 20th, 2017, in the amount of $709,671.56.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business to carry over from the previous meeting. Under new business, we have several items, and the first item tonight is NJPA purchase of trash trucks. Brad?
Good evening, Board. On May 15th, 2017, the Board of Works approved a motion to purchase 2 new trash trucks for the Department of Public Works. It is my recommendation to the Board of Works that the Department of Public Works be allowed to purchase the new trash trucks through the National Joint Powers Alliance, shortened NJPA. City of Beech Grove is currently a member of NJPA. City of Beech Grove has used this purchasing alliance as recently as September 2015 to purchase the new CXT BAT, a restroom building from LB Foster Company for Sarah T. Bolton Park. Indiana Procurement Code allows for cooperative purchasing through NJPA, and I've enclosed additional information for your review. Thank you for your consideration in this matter, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'm sure you will have some questions, and I'm happy to discuss those.
Yeah. Let me preface this first. The trash trucks that we bought 5 years ago, the lease is over. There are trucks, and we want to go ahead and replace the trucks, but Dan and I have been talking about it, and if we replace one in 2018, and then pay for it, and then another one in 2019, and pay for it,
That's the hopes, is not straddling these departments with any leases whatsoever. That's the reason why we've been paying for police cars, fire trucks, ambulance, so forth. And these trucks, if I'm not mistaken, Brad, are still in relatively good shape, and you're planning on keeping them and rotating them. And I just think, in my opinion, that they will last a lot longer doing that. And by the 19, he will have 4 of them where he can rotate them in and out.
Yeah, our goal with the new one is to get rid of we have a 2000, so that one we want gone, but the 2 2012s we want to keep. Now, how we buy them is now getting into this, which is something that came to light when, Indiana Procurement Code opened up this. Actually, there's 2 ways to cooperatively purchased through contracts. This is one of them that's recognized by the state. So much so that actually some of the state bids now, the QPAs actually piggyback on NJPA contracts. And this organization, they bid contracts out nationally. So where this comes into play is, so for paving, for example, a lot of times you're looking for the cheapest price. Asphalt is asphalt. You want to know who can do it the cheapest as long as it meets minimum requirements. But when you get into purchasing vehicles and things like that, brands matter very much. So something like a Heil or a John Deere, I have a copy of the John Deere state QPA with the state of Indiana. It's through the NJPA contract. They give you the ability to go out and buy what you want, and they bid it out on a national level so that we don't have to bid it out and open it up to other brands that we may not be interested in. To us, having a Heil is what we want. We don't want a Leech or anything else that we feel is, in our minds, inferior. Plus, we also have Heil, so we would like to keep our fleet the same. But Heil is one of the brands that NJPA has contracted throughout the United States. And I actually have dealt with sites already. That's who we bought our first 2 trucks with. And they've sold through NJPA Heils to Greensburg, West Lafayette, Bloomington, Martinsville, Lexington, Kentucky, all over. So this is a very common practice. And it's a substitute for bidding this out to anyone who wants to bid any brand of trash truck where we can go exactly by what we want. And it's been satisfied the bid because they've bid the contract out. I put some stuff in there that sort of describes it.
So it's an exception to the public bidding.
Correct, yes. And the Indiana Procurement Code actually names this specifically to say that it is allowable for schools, nonprofits, and municipalities to use it to buy equipment. So for us, it streamlines it, and it gets us out of that bidding process where we sort of do an injustice to the people selling other things because that's really not what we want.
But you can actually go in there and critique it and say, this is basically the year, make, model, and the equipment we want on it, and they find that for you.
Yes, yeah, I already have the bid specs. So Heil, our sites they have the contract for Heil. We would provide that to them, and they would go buy exactly what we want, and it's already been bid out because it's being bought on a contract that was bid out.
Gotcha.
Brad, what's the price difference between what we would buy this one for versus the ones we bought 5 years ago?
I haven't gotten specific prices, but I'm sure, it's probably gone up some.
Well, I'm sure of that.
I don't think it's anything astronomical. Last time, we structured our bids so that, Heil was the only bid that came back in because that's what we were interested in. So this time, it kind of gets us out of that, having to structure those bids in such a narrow way that you're sort of weeding out, the competitors. But I can, once, if we decide to go this route, then I can get pricing and all that. But you're guaranteed the lowest price because they've got the contract. Like when we bought our Ford F-250s, we used the state quantity purchasing agreement. So you're getting the lowest price on Ford because that Connorsville dealership got that contract through the state. This is the same thing. If you get the Heil contract and you buy from them, you're getting the best price.
What are the fees?
There are no fees. When Tom bought the bathroom back in 2015 for the park, he joined this organization, and it's free. They make their money through the brands to pay to be a part of it. And then I think I enclosed the certificate that has our membership information on it.
So what does it take to become a member? What did the city have to do? Is there any?
We're already a member.
Yeah, I think he just signed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions? Dave, any comments?
No, but what we're going to try and do then is get one in 18 and pay for it.
And, yeah, and 1 in 19. Now, we'll have to time that, to where it's a certain time financially through the year, whether it be in the spring or the summer. I don't know,
Well, and then on top of it, we need you to keep us informed if you're having issues with the vehicle where we may have to move it up or,
And that's another point I'll make. Since we did buy 2 Heils back in 2012, we have really liked them. They've been great to us, and the Ohio part of the truck is essentially maintenance-free, so we have no reason to not want to buy those same trucks again.
Well, and on the same point, we had an issue, I don't know, it's been a couple of years ago, and we were gonna have to lease a garbage truck, and people would wonder why we're going to keep 3 or 4 of them. This way, Harry's always got a backup, and that was an ordeal, and it really was not a good thing. So this will eliminate that from ever happening again. To my knowledge, that's the first time that's happened, but.
Yeah, and it gets quite expensive if you have to lease one.
If there's any, no questions or comments, I ask for a motion to approve the director's request to purchase trash trucks through the NJPA.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. The next item of business for approval is rate increase for Covanta, and I'll defer back to the Public Works Director.
And so this is an annual contract that we renew with Covanta. I did speak to the new, the person that's in charge now. Her name is Bindi King, and she has made it known to me that we're sort of a little lower than some of the fees that other companies or municipalities are paying, so they want to sort of slowly increase us. She actually pitched an initial price to me for next year of $33.41, which was like a 5.5% increase, almost $2, and I sort of shocked by that. So we talked over the phone, and I explained that, you know, we're a municipality, not a private entity, and we have to pass those fees along at some point. So she agreed to come down to 3.5%, which was the lowest that she said she would go, which is still $1.11 per ton increase. But I think their goal over time is to increase us a little bit each year to get us up to the same level as what other places are paying. So there's really no way around it. But I thought 3.5 sounded better than 5.5.
Well, kudos
You,
to you for negotiating that, so.
Brad,
thank
have
you for
you looked at what the fiscal impact would be?
We do about 4,000 to 4,500 tons a year on average with them, so roughly $5,000 would be the increase next year.
Well, that's not surprising. I mean, do you know if the landfill's going to go up as well?
Well, they're already higher than Covanta and have been, so I can see that Covanta's wanting to raise their fees. The landfill's a couple dollars higher per ton as it is, and then the thing I hate about the landfill is we consistently have damage to the equipment because the environment's so bad there. We have a lot of tires and axles, and it's always something when you go there, so we always avoid it if possible. We end up paying more in the long run by going there.
Okay, floor is open for any questions or comments.
I have none.
I have none.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to allow the director to enter into an agreement with Covanta for 2018.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Is that something that you can do, or do we have to sign, Brad?
It's done online. I just acknowledge it online and submit it. Thank you.
All right. Fire chief, new employee start date.
Mayor and Board, good evening. I come before you today to ask for the approval to hire Jason Lamping. Jason is a replacement firefighter for Andrew Johnson. Jason is a certified EMT and has completed all prerequisites for hiring. Jason completed the Beech Grove Brownsburg recruit class in July of this year. If approved, Jason's pay will be $1,859.87 per pay period, and his start date will be December 2nd, 2017. This position is in our 2017 budget.
And can you remind the board what happened to Andrew Johnson?
Absolutely. We had 3 firefighters start the recruit class with Brownsburg back earlier this year. Andrew Johnson did not finish the course. He did not complete it and was let go. Yeah, we don't recruit from other departments, but if they come through our process and apply, we definitely take a look at them. I was very pleased when I saw Jason Lamping on our list when he applied. Jason completed the program with Beech Grove Brownsburg, and we had Beech Grove instructors at the class teaching EMT class and also assisting with the fire course. Jason Lamping completed that program, #1 in his class. To say the very least, that's one of the reasons I was proud to see Jason. Jason's a South Side family man, grew up here close to Beech Grove, and served 4 years in the Marines. Also, he's currently in the Marine Reserve.
All right.
I was very pleased to bring him up this evening.
Board, have any questions or comments?
I've known Jason since he was about as big as his little ones, so he's a fine young man, so glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Dave, any thoughts?
No, sir, I'm good.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the chief's recommendation to hire Jason Lamping effective December 2nd, 2017.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well, and the motion carries. Jason, care to comment?
Well, it's nice to be back here in Beech Grove. I do look forward to it. It was one of those, we had a few of the guys in our class, and I kind of was, I guess, jealous because that's where I'm from. Appreciate everybody coming and look forward to serving here at Beech Grove.
Do you know anything about heating and cooling?
I've done it for a little while.
All right. Congratulations.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you.
Introduce your family.
Oh, yes. This is my wife, Lindsay. She's holding our daughter, Elena, 3 years old. Jaden, 6 years old. He's a first grader at Holy Name here in Beech Grove. And Joshua, he's 5. He'll be going to Holy Name too as well. My wife works in here, at Beech Tree House at a daycare, so that's where the others go to preschool at right now, so,
Very good. Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, 2018 roadway improvements, United Consulting. Brian?
Good evening, Board. I am Brian Pearson with United Consulting. I have the pleasure this evening of presenting a proposal for professional services for the 2018 Local Roadway Improvements Project. There is various locations around the city that we're looking at doing this year, including Adelaide Street, 12th Avenue, 21st Avenue, Ash Street, 6th Avenue, and the approaches off of 9th Avenue for the South Grove Intermediate School. Earlier this year, the city prepared a community crossings matching grant, and we were awarded $268,000 by the state of Indiana to help fund roadway improvement projects. Specifically those 6 locations I listed. That funding does not include professional services. It's a 50-50 match for construction dollars only. So what I have prepared this evening are 2 signed copies of our contract for a total of $132,000 for survey, road design, and part-time construction inspection, which would allow us to take the project all the way through design and through construction until the project is complete and wrapped up. There is also a small fee in there for the pavement asset management plan. That was a requirement for the community crossings grant.
The indication I got from the community crossings was 400,000, which makes sense because with our match of 400,000, that goes to 800,000.
Okay, I could possibly have the wrong numbers here, and some of that might also be covering our previous
Yeah,
work
that's
from.
why that 775, that's why that fits.
Right,
Because the award that we received, plus the council budgeted 400,000 for road.
right, I'm sorry, to clarify, the cost that I listed was just for those 6 specific streets, but you're right, we did also get the 2016 Community Crossings Grant, which covered work we did last year and actually reimbursed us for some work that was done the year before that even. So yes, in total, we have gotten more money from this grant, but some of that was to cover work that has already been done this year.
So that's, going off this worksheet, that the 400,000 from the state and our 400,000 in LRNS, that fits in this.
Yes.
So we don't go over that.
Right, yes, and as part of the information we had to provide for that grant application, there was a funding commitment letter from the city, and there was also the project budget summary sheet that you're mentioning to show not only the state's cost, but the local entity's cost as well, and how that was all in the budget to be paid for.
One thing on these construction costs, these roads, Adelaide and 12th and 21st, Ashland 6th, all of them, board, when they did the road assessment, all of them were in the poor category. They were either rated a 1 or a 2, which means they're the worst roads in the city. Adelaide is the only road left that received a 1 rating. So we're making good progress.
Correct, yes. The work that we propose to do is a mixture of resurfacing in some locations where that's an adequate solution, some full-depth patching in places where there's a bad spot here or there, and a couple of these streets, including Adelaide, as you mentioned, is actually a full reconstruction of the pavement. That also includes where there are sidewalks, curb work if necessary, if the curb is deteriorated, and replacing sidewalk panels if there are ADA tripping hazards, and assuring that all curb ramps at the intersections meet ADA standards.
On 6th Avenue, I think it's important to note that we're adding sidewalks.
Yes, to make a connection that is not currently there.
Yeah.
That's between 6th and 5th Avenue, I believe.
No, it's between.
I'm sorry,
it's on
between
6th,
Ash
between-
and
Yes.
the street.
Fletcher? or
Yes.
something. Churchman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that cleans that up over there.
As part of the Community Crossings Grant, the projects that have received funding have to be awarded construction prior to April 14th or April 15th of next year. That's part of the reason that we're trying to get on this contract and get this work started. The desire would be to bid this work sometime in February, such there's time to iron out all the paperwork with the contractor and get all the paperwork signed and ready to go, and have construction start in the spring.
Floor is open for questions or comments.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
I got a question. On the 21st Street, I was under the impression Citizens Energy was going to take care of this when they was redoing mains. I know this starts at Cleveland, and goes to Southern. I know they were doing work up on the Churchman to the Cleveland area. So
No,
is this,
No, they did 20, they just finished 20th Street. There's no mains on, they're not gonna do any main work on 21st at all,
okay,
20th Street.
so 20th was the one where
20th.
they did the main work
Yeah.
and then did the road afterwards?
Yes. They did the
Okay.
road today, as a matter of fact.
Okay, all right. All right, that answers that.
So any questions or comments?
I have none.
All right. One thing, board, that I did advise them is that we should go ahead and approve this, but we would not entertain any invoices until after the first of the year. So when we get into the new budget, so.
Correct, yes. We understand that this is in the 2018 budget, despite the need to accelerate the schedule and get the plans done as early as possible. So with the understanding that we have a signed contract, we're more than willing to wait until the new year to receive invoice payments.
Ask for motion to approve agreement between United Consulting and the City of Beech Grove for professional services for 2018 paving.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Bill, you got any comments?
No, thank you for the opportunity to work with the city again. We're making good progress.
Yeah. Yes.
I believe this just has yours and Dan's signature on it.
Okay.
So there's 2 copies here, one for you and one for us. I want to take turns.
Today's 20.
Why don't you go and keep that one?
We'll keep that one. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Brian, thank you. Next up, request to refurbish Medic 58. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Board. I come before you today, recommend initiating the specification bid process to re-chassis ambulance number 58. The time frame from bid process starting to the re-chassis will take approximately 6 months for completion. The City of Beech Grove will reserve the right to accept or reject all bids received during this process.
Floor is open for any questions or comments.
I have a question. Can we use the NJPA? This?
If we buy the chassis separate, we'd be able to do so. If the clerk treasurer, like, for instance, would be able to find the funding this year to purchase a 17 chassis, we can go to Don Hines, pick up the chassis, we can store it, and then when we're ready to re-chassis the truck, we can do so. So there is some flexibility. Otherwise, if we put it out for bid and it's an out-of-state bid winner, then I would probably suggest we go with the entire bid package and do it together.
Makes sense.
But this board does have that option
Okay.
to separate those items.
Thank you.
Do you remember off the top of your head, just ballpark what we paid to have the last one done?
Unfortunately, Dan, I believe it was 82. I would have to go back and research that for you. I know there was a couple add-ons that we had to it, but I do not believe it was over 90.
Dave, you have any thoughts?
No.
I'll tell you what, this has been a really good deal, because we've saved this city saved a lot of money by doing this, because I don't know what a new one would cost right out of the box.
A new one, the last one that we took a look at last year for one of our identical trucks was roughly $159,000. I'm sure that price has increased since
It's
then.
almost 2 trucks.
So that is correct. And this would make the third re-chassis of a vehicle that we've done, and we've had nothing but success so far with our vehicles.
I don't know who came up with this idea. It wasn't me, but it's a good one, whoever did it. Yeah, it's just a question on funding. If we could do it from a fund standpoint, we ought to be doing it, because this is really good. This is good stuff.
How long does it take to re-chassis one? You give it to them.
Once they get the box in, they strip it down, they take a look. The last 2 processes we have done through Donnelly's, they did an excellent job. Once they received the box, they totally strip it down, sandblast it, look and make sure there's no corrosion to that box. If there is, they fix that corrosion before it's repainted. So we've really lucked out as far as any major issues with these boxes when they come off the chassis. And the last one we did, we had it in their hands in October, and it was completed before December 31st. So roughly 3 months, and that's a lot of holidays
Yeah.
in there. So a 3-month turnaround is very good.
Yeah.
There's no further questions or comments. I'll ask for motion to approve the chief's request to start the process to re-chassis ambulance 58.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries.
Thank you.
Before I forget again, and we move on to the next topic, the road improvement grant money, I want to thank the council for budgeting the money to match. I want to thank the Board of Works for approving these projects and moving the city forward. I want to thank the clerk's office because Dan had to write the letter to get the funding. So I appreciate all of these pieces and working together to get this accomplished. And we all know the condition of these roads that we're about to fix. So we need to continue to take advantage of getting these money. And $400,000 is a lot of money in my opinion. And as Bill said a minute ago, we've made great strides in our infrastructure. So, but we need to continue. So I forgot to mention that when we approved this, and I appreciate United for working with us all these years. So it's a good relationship. Well, one last item is the Main Street sewer backup. Brad?
Good evening again. So this one is a little unique. We had a resident at 2222 Main Street on November 6th, which was a Monday. She attempted to, after hours, reach out to us, was unsuccessful. We historically had always had our emergency sewer line. When we had a dispatch, it ran through dispatch. When that went away, we moved it to the Marion County Dispatch. We've never had any issues for the most part. I mean, they have mine and Phil and John Biggs's, all of our cell phone numbers generally are very good about letting us know when there's a problem, which is rare. But this time, whoever she got a hold of pretty much told her, you'll just have to wait until tomorrow, which was probably not the best answer. I do have an email from Linda Moore that she did try to email the Sewage Works email at 6:42 that night. So the next day when we came in, Phil immediately went out and verified that the sewer main was backed up. He doesn't know why. It took him forever to free it up. In fact, at one point he called commercial sewer to come out, thinking that he would be unable to do so. And in the time that he called before they got there, he got it opened and it all went down. But she didn't have any damages to speak of, but a plumber's bill because she thought she had a problem in her own line. And it was on us and we didn't respond. In my view, we did not respond quickly enough, so I felt like that $314 bill is on us. That was my opinion. Felt like that was fair. This gal had a problem about 10 years ago. I was in her basement with a group of people. There was some sort of issue going on, and she suffered some damages back then. So she's had issues in the past. She's spent a lot of money. She's lost personal items. I certainly was not going to haggle with her over $300 when I felt like we were in the wrong. It just is, it's a challenge. I think the mayor has sort of shown a light on this, that we have limited resources. Sometimes after hours, it's very tough to respond with limited manpower and limited equipment. We do our best. This doesn't happen very often. In fact, this is the first time, really, for the most part, that I've brought something like this forward. But minimum cost to really do the right thing, in my opinion.
Has that bill been submitted for payment?
I submitted it this pay cycle, but wanted to at least explain and discuss
So it's been approved tonight?
It would have been, yes.
Okay. Comments from board members?
If this would happen again tonight, is there a process now in place that somebody would be able to get a hold of someone and get something like this?
The process had never failed before. One of our phones has always rang, so I'm not sure what happened. Like I said, she tried the email, and generally the dispatch does a really nice job of calling us. I don't really know what else we can do. You really can't give out people's personal cell phone numbers, and like I said, we don't have a 24-hour staff. So if this were to happen more often, then I would say we need to look at retooling what we do or how we do it. But this is sort of a one-time deal, and I don't really have enough probably occurrences to make a change.
Well, we're at the mercy of whoever answers the phone downtown. And sometimes it's not good.
Mhm.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So it's been made right. I mean,
Yes, and I've communicated with her, and this was what she wanted. This makes her happy, and Phil is the first one to admit if it's on us, and that's rare. But he said on this one, that's on us. We should take care of this.
any idea what may have caused it?
No, it could be a lot of things. But he's looking at the line in particular and wondering, we maybe need to look at lining it in the near future. He doesn't think it's lined, so it's probably a section of pipe that we need to look at. There's a few issues going on there in that area that he said, it's not just a simple thing, but it's something we need to look at fixing. And it's part of being an owner of a system like this, and you have some spots that you almost want to avoid, but you can't. It's part of it, so it may be that it takes some money to make it right, but people like her suffer when it's not right, and so.
All right. Any other comments on it, Brad?
No.
Thank you so much.
I do have one question. Do you know if we ever received the bill from the plumbing company? Because I know it was either Thursday or Friday of last week. Debbie was trying to get a hold of them. They said there's no invoice out there.
Yeah, she finally found the right person
Oh,
who
okay.
confirmed
Right.
it. I have a copy of the bill and actually this gal paid them, so we're paying her back. And a
Right.
copy of that invoice is attached as well. And Debbie did finally get a hold of the right person who said they couldn't believe that somebody would have made that statement. But yeah, they confirmed that they were there and all the conditions that she claims existed did exist, so it
Well,
was
the
all
lady
validated.
even used a coupon to.
Yeah, so
get
she
the
saved us some
bill
money.
lower,
Hey,
so
why not?
My kind of lady.
Right.
Before you leave, City Hall's closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving, but can you inform the public on trash pickup?
Sure. No trash pickup on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving Day. Friday, we will pick up Thursday's trash. Monday, we will pick up Friday's trash, and then back on the normal schedule.
All right, thank you, Brad.
Thanks.
Chief, we left you out tonight, anything?
Hey, do we need to vote to approve payment on this?
We can.
Just
Was
for,
it already on the docket?
well, it was on the docket before, just so we could get payment out to them, but it's, I don't know.
Motion, we'll just do a motion to reimburse the homeowner at 2222 Main Street for sewer backup fees incurred.
In the amount of $314. I'll make said motion.
Nice second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Comments from board members, anything?
Have a wonderful and memorable Thanksgiving with your families.
I have no comment.
Yeah, no comments, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:46 PM. We will reconvene on Monday, December the 4th at 6 PM. Thank you so much.